When we talk about Formula One, only bright things come to our minds: high-speed cars, teams, celebrations, We Are the Champions song, and luxury.
Here come the lights!
But do you know, beneath this bright side, there are darker aspects of Formula One too. Here I am not talking about fan abuse, mismanagement of the FIA, or rivalries of drivers, as everyone already knows about them.
Safety car out.
Yeah! What a stupid action!
Everyone knows how rivalries could turn into something sinister, or how fans could bully or abuse great drivers such as Nicholas Latifi. So there is no need to talk about them. Instead, I am going to focus on dark tales of Formula One, the stories that are hidden beneath the layers of lies and deception.
I had a really difficult race. I'd had a crash. It was a very low point in my career.
These stories will take you through the roller coaster of emotions and make you question this billionaire's sport. So, subscribe to our channel and stay with me till the end. The Tragedy of Villeneuve. In the world of Formula One, loyalty is currency, and betrayal costs blood. It was 1982 when Gil Villeneuve was a leading driver. He was Enzo's golden child and a popular breed among Ferrari fans. But everything changed in 1982 when Ferrari gave him a new teammate, Didier Pironi. Villeneuve gave space and respect to his teammate, not knowing he would be the one to betray and kill him. It was supposed to be a Ferrari 1-2 at Imola. Midway through the race, the team gave a clear order: hold position! Villeneuve was leading and Pironi was behind. The fight was over, or so Gilles believed. But in the final laps, Pironi attacked twice. He raced as if no order had ever been given. Villeneuve was confused about what was happening, but Pironi didn't care about him and won the race. This betrayal and humiliation ignited the fire of revenge in Villeneuve's heart. He descended from the podium and said one thing: I will never speak to Didier again. And he remained true to his words. After just 2 weeks, he got the opportunity to take his revenge. During qualifying, Pironi went faster. Gilles, raging with silent fury, strapped into his car. He had one mission: beat Pironi's time. With the clock ticking and emotions boiling, Villeneuve attacked the circuit like a man possessed. But as he came up behind Jacques and Mass, there was confusion. A split-second misjudgment that led his car to launch into the air. It was a matter of seconds before he was lying motionless on the road, and he soon died. This was the man whose life was stolen in the world of betrayal and emotions of Formula One. The murder tied to Lotus. But this dark story is nothing in front to the chilling stories surrounding the murder linked to the Lotus-Delorean affair. It was a dark tale where racing, money, betrayal, and death collide in shadowy corners of the Formula One world. In the early 1980s, John DeLorean, the American car magnate, wanted to build a revolutionary car. The DMC-12, futuristic, stainless steel, gull-wing doors. You know it today as the Back to the Future car. John needed help in making this dream a reality, so he turned toward Lotus and its legendary founder, Colin Chapman, to help design and engineer it. Millions of British government funds were poured into the project. It involved over $175 million and employed around 2,000 workers. Lotus worked fast, but behind the scenes, something sinister was going on. The car wasn't turning out to be good, but money was vanishing from the books. Despite high hopes, the DeLorean venture suffered delays and design flaws. In 1982, investigations revealed that nearly half the government funding had been funneled into a Panamanian account belonging to a shadowy entity called GPDS, with suspicions pointing to Chapman's involvement. One of the engineers involved in the Lotus-Delorean project, a man named Fred Bushell, was later convicted for his role in the fraud and went to prison. But another man, whose identity was never fully publicized, was found murdered in Ireland, near the very area where the DeLorean factory was built. He had reportedly worked on aspects of the project's financial planning. But before officers could reach him, he was murdered by someone. The case is still unsolved. But this dark tale isn't stopping here. Before officers could arrest Chapman for his fraud, he died of a heart attack. For many people, it was an unfortunate incident, but for a lot, it was a strategic plan.
In some circles, that he faked his death to avoid prosecution over his role in the collapse of the DeLorean Motor Company.
Several people believed he faked his death to escape prosecution. They are claiming it because F1 legends Mario Andretti and Emerson Fittipaldi were allegedly told he had already been buried without a service. His wife Hazel was the only witness to his death. No major funeral was held despite Chapman's fame. Hazel spent 1 month in Brazil shortly after her husband's death, so a lot of people believe that Chapman was living there with a new face and a new identity. Adrian Newey had confirmed these conspiracies, showcasing to the world the dark side of Formula One's financial world. Jos Verstappen Controversies. Jos Verstappen was a legendary racer who made records in F1 along with Michael Schumacher. From 1994 to 2003, he was one of the best F1 drivers, all smiles and celebration.
Who are you getting a picture of? Of a nice girl? Right, well, ask a silly question, I'll get a straight answer.
But beneath these smiles and celebrations, there is a dark-hearted man who loves to inflict pain on others. His abusive nature forced his wife Sophie to take a divorce and restraining orders from the court, but Jos didn't care about the law. He kept sending her threatening messages and followed her around to harass her. Verstappen and his wife separated in 2008. However, he was found guilty of threatening the two-time champion's mother and violating a previously issued restraining order. She went to the court, but they ignored her plea and gave a small punishment of fine and a suspended sentence to Jos. This made him brave, and he allegedly assaulted his 24-year-old girlfriend in 2011. Again, the court dismissed the victim with a wave of the hand. But now things took an uglier turn when, in January 2012, he tried to run her girlfriend over with a car. In 2012, Verstappen Sr. drove a car into his ex-wife, Kelly Vanderwall, who during the incident was his girlfriend, after a heated argument. The then 39-year-old was arrested for an attempt to murder. He managed to flee the scene. However, his ex-girlfriend suffered heavy bruises due to the accident. As this was an attempted murder case, the court gave him 2 weeks punishment in jail. After that, charges were dropped and Jos went over with life as if nothing happened. This was the power of Formula One's money that even courts couldn't touch Jos. Max Verstappen's abusive childhood, but all these controversies are nothing in front of Jos's abusive parenting approach toward Max. Today's generation loves Max Verstappen for his determination and commitment to Formula One. He is so much into motorsport that he wore a Red Bull shirt to his daughter's gender reveal event. But sadly, there is a dark childhood story behind this commitment.
Later, where is he now? I said, come on, drive. I'm still, I don't care, drive. And then he couldn't move his finger.
Jos was abused by his father, so he abused his son. He didn't allow Max to enjoy any part of his childhood because he wanted him to be a perfect racing machine. That's why we often see Max playing Minecraft to discover his childhood even after being a grown-up. And his father started training him from the age of 4 without caring about his health conditions or the weather.
And then 3 minutes later, where is he now? I said, come on, drive. I'm still, I don't care, drive. And then he couldn't move his fingers.
No matter if it is raining or snowing, Max had to practice. Once, when he was 9 years old, his father made him stand in the freezing weather to make his hands numb. Then, he asked him to grab the steering wheel with those hands and do laps. He complained that his hands were hurting. It was in 2012 when Max failed to win his first karting championship because of one foolhardy passing move. He tried to apologize to his father on the ride back home, but his father didn't talk to him. When he tried numerous times, Jos stopped the car at a fuel station, asked him to step out of the car, and left without him. He remained on the station scared and worried. At last, his mother rescued him. Thankfully, Max has broken the cycle of generational abuse and is being a gentle father with his daughters.
Oh yeah, that's me on the pillow, yeah.
Oh my god.
You have a pillow with yourself on it?
Yeah.
1994 money tragedy. From April 29 to May 1st, 1994, the world witnessed the darkest weekend in Formula One history. 3 horrifying accidents occurred that weekend, shocking the entire world, yet Formula One officials remained disturbingly unfazed. On April 29, young Rubens Barrichello slammed into the barriers at terrifying speed. His car cartwheeled through the air like a toy. Chaos erupted on the grid, where he barely survived. But Formula One brushed it off with a "he's okay" statement. The weekend continued with no one even bothering to think about his pain. Then came April 30th, Saturday, that took the life of a 33-year-old Austrian rookie with dreams as big as the legends he watched growing up. Roland Ratzenberger's car went straight into the wall during the qualifying, taking his life in the process. He died on the track, and yet no one cared. Officials ignored his death and announced that the weekend would not be stopped. Then came the legendary Ayrton Senna's death. The previous day, he had witnessed the death of one of his colleagues. His heart must have been heavy with gloom, but he couldn't leave because Formula One had invested a lot of money in him, and he had to pay them back by racing even after the unfortunate death of his colleague. On that gloomy Sunday, he died. His life was claimed by the same Tamburello corner that injured Rubens Barrichello. For various seconds, we saw his head rolling to and fro. He was brain dead when medics took him to the hospital, where he breathed his last, his blood still fresh on the asphalt.
Grand Prix in 1994. Michael Schumacher in the middle, on the left Nicola Larini, on the right.
Why didn't the race stop? Because TV contracts were signed, billboards were bought, millions of dollars were already in motion. To stop would be to admit something F1 never liked to admit, that their heroes were mortal and the speed has a cost. Just because of sponsors, teams don't care about their drivers. They were just worried about their fans and their PR strategy. Humanity has no place in this legendary motorsport. Motorsport became massacre. June 11th, 1955 was another day when the world saw the blood of humanity on the Formula One grid. It was Le Mans, a sister battlefield of speed. Drivers and fans were quite excited when a massacre took place, taking the lives of many. At 6:26 p.m., Pierre Levegh, driver for Mercedes-Benz, was barreling down the pit straight in his silver Arrow. In front of him, a chain reaction took place. Mike Hawthorne's Jaguar braked suddenly for the pits. Lance Macklin's Austin Healey swerved violently to avoid him. Levegh, arriving at over 150 miles per hour, had nowhere to go. His Mercedes clipped the rear of Macklin's car, and then all hell broke loose. Levegh's car launched into the air, split apart mid-flight, and exploded into the grandstand. Shards of magnesium, steel, and burning fuel tore through the crowd like shrapnel. Bodies were ripped apart. Children were crushed. Pierre Levegh and 83 other spectators died instantly, along with 200 injured. Some bodies were so mutilated that they were never identified. Children died in front of their parents, while adults were screaming for help. Some people covered dead bodies with newspapers and torn clothes to maintain their dignity. The sirens of ambulances, cries of mothers, and sobs of children were echoing on the unfortunate side of the track. But the other side was celebrating. F1 officials never announced this accident and kept their games going. Other drivers were celebrating on the podium. Music and cheering kept going on, while the sponsors of Formula One ignored the biggest tragedy of the motorsport. It was 2 a.m. when Mercedes announced their removal from the game and let the world know about the accident. A Crashgate incident. 2008 marked another dark chapter of Formula One history, where we saw propaganda behind the shiny world of podiums.
As the cars took their places, the excitement got a little too much for Piquet.
It started with Renault's sponsors. They were investing a lot of money in the team and wanted Fernando Alonso to win any race. The two-time world champion hadn't won any race in the past year, and Renault officials were panicking as their sponsors were threatening to leave them alone. So they decided to exploit the newcomer. Team principal Flavio Briatore and technical director Pat Symonds arranged a meeting with Nelson Piquet Jr., who was nervous about his career and was desperate for a seat in the F1 team. He was dreaming big, but finding it difficult to make his space in the dark world of this billionaire's sport. Flavio promised him a good F1 career if he crashed his car on lap 14, just after Alonso would complete his pit stop. Desperate Nelson agreed to it, and we all saw the crash.
When Piquet crashed heavily and brought out the safety car.
The safety car had to come for Nelson's rescue, impacting the speed of others who were still on the pit stop. This ultimately gave Alonso the lead. And at last, he was waving to his fans from the podium.
Fernando won again for the 20th time in his career, with Rosberg second and Hamilton third.
It was the mid-2009 season when Symonds and Briatore decided that they had had enough of Piquet. So they dropped him, forgetting about their promises. This humiliated the driver so much that he went to the FIA and told them the truth of the Crashgate incident. Investigations started, and everyone started blaming each other. Alonso came out of this scandal unharmed, claiming he never knew about it. The FIA banned Briatore from Formula One for life and imposed a 5-year suspension on Symonds from the sport. Because Simmons claimed he opposed this idea, he was given the lighter punishment. Renault received a suspended 2-year ban, meaning they would be banned only if they committed another serious violation within 730 days. Only Piquet suffered as he never got any other seat in F1. British biasness. At the 2021 British Grand Prix at Silverstone, we saw another dark aspect of F1. A dramatic first-lap clash between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen resulted in Verstappen crashing heavily into the barriers at over 180 miles per hour, ending his race and sending him to the hospital for precautionary checks.
Oh, and it was the merest of touches, but it was enough. And look how the wheel has come loose from the...
The collision occurred at Copse Corner, where Hamilton attempted an inside move, but many argued he was too aggressive and didn't back out. The stewards gave Hamilton a 10-second time penalty, which many felt was too lenient given the severity of Verstappen's crash and the race-ending consequences.
Could Hamilton have done anything to give Max Verstappen room there and avoid that crash? He was on the inside, of course. Yeah. Was there a bit more room to the right that Hamilton should have been finding?
But F1 officials didn't care about the criticism, because behind the bright podiums and smiling drivers, British bias is at its peak. Since the start of the 1950s, Formula One teams have always preferred British players over American and Asian players. Africa isn't even considered suitable for racing. Only Lewis Hamilton is a rare case thanks to his exceptional skills. F1 great Ayrton Senna told the world his struggles in the world of F1 because of this bias. With him, Fernando Alonso, Sebastian Vettel, Max Verstappen, and various non-British rookies are treated differently, getting labels of being a villain or difficult. Unfortunately, they got the labels from none other than Sky Sports, the main F1 broadcasting channel.
I mean, they've got 2 championships out of this. They've overspent. They've been caught. They've been accused of it. They've now been charged. And Max Verstappen is the beneficiary of two world championships.
You can't say that. How can
I'm
you?
saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that. That's
Simon.
what the fans are saying.
Yeah.
They frequently gave glowing coverage of British drivers, while others are more often described as aggressive, arrogant, or lucky. Lewis Hamilton's mental struggles. Though Lewis isn't the victim of British bias, he is the victim of racism and isolation. The 7-time world champion has faced bullying and racism his whole life.
Mental stability, mental health has been a huge part of my whole journey. Probably since I was 11, I would say, is when it really started to become a real challenge.
By the age of 13, he was struggling with depression and mental health problems. Isolation and racism were taking a toll on his mental health. His family didn't come from money, and his father, Anthony Hamilton, worked multiple jobs to support his son's racing career. The pressure to succeed and justify the sacrifices made by his family added immense psychological weight to an already challenging childhood. When Hamilton made his Formula One debut in 2007, he was 22 years old and already in the global spotlight. Expectations were astronomical. He was the first black driver in F1 and instantly became a title contender. Though he came within a point of winning the title in his rookie season, the mental toll was severe. Formula One had white drivers, and he felt that he didn't belong here. He struggled with isolation and kept pushing himself to prove his worth.
Every black kid in the world will at some stage experience racism. It's just a fact.
Years of bullying had made him believe that he had to remain perfect every moment to make friends. That's why the 2021 incident proved to be the breaking point for him. He was leading the championship deciding race until a late safety car incident and a controversial decision by then race director Michael Masi allowed Max Verstappen to overtake him on the final lap. Hamilton lost the championship in what many considered one of the most unfair moments in F1 history.
Oh, I'm just speechless, Lewis. Absolutely speechless.
Bono is speechless.
He went silent for nearly 2 months afterwards. No interviews, no social media, no public appearances. People feared he might retire. When he returned, he said he had gone through one of the darkest periods of his life. This smiling F1 champion is proof that racism is everywhere and slowly poisoning the lives of future legends. Lando Norris's mental struggle. In the world of Formula One, every fan wanted a superhero behind the wheel. The person should be perfect, should show no weaknesses, and should have some achievements under their belt. In short, the tough or brave men's culture prevails in the F1. This culture took a toll on the mental health of Lando Norris, a smiley and happy 19-year-old boy.
Like the obvious ones, performance. I hate losing a lot.
I've noticed.
And it's not just like, I'm a bit sad, or it's like it can affect me through weeks if I have a bad run of results, or
He stepped into the world of Formula One with dreams, but soon the toxic culture of masculinity and stigma of toughing it out consumed his mental health. Every mistake on track felt catastrophic. The immense pressure of competing at the highest level of motorsport, combined with the endless scrutiny from fans and critics online, took a serious toll on his mental health.
So much scrutiny. If you do a good job, everybody's there to lift you up. If you make a mistake, everyone's there to try and bring you down.
He felt himself as an imposter and was in continuous fear of getting dropped by McLaren. This destroyed his mental health to such a point that he sought professional mental health support. He took the help of Mind and overcame his mental problems. Sebastian Vettel. Hatred. Now, Lando Norris mentally struggled because he was losing games and was seen as his own rival in every season, but Sebastian Vettel suffered because he was winning every game. The world of Formula One is dark for every driver, no matter if they are a 4-time world champion or a loser.
Here we go with the race leader.
So what really happened with Sebastian was that he was dominating every race from 2008 to 2013. From pole position to podium, it was predictable that Sebastian would win the race. This prediction took out the fun, adrenaline rush, and uncertainty from the race, making fans bored of his dominance. So, what they did was the most unfair thing in the world of sports. They audibly booed him when he was standing on the podium with a smile and celebrating his championship.
He has had not only such an amazing career, but as a person, he is so complex and just amazing to analyze because fundamentally he has got so many layers to both his character and career as well.
Canada, Belgium, and Italy witnessed a crowd booing a player not because he cheated, but because he dared to win.
Yeah, the same team or the same driver on the podium.
You're up here on the podium with you. Please don't do that. That's not correct.
They're on a tour, you know, they go around with a bus.
In Formula One, where fans romanticize struggle and heartbreak, Vettel became the villain, not because he committed a crime, but because he succeeded. Vettel pretended to be unfazed by this booing, but one of his interviews betrayed his emotions.
And I know you're making light of it now, but you are only human. Booing must get to you at some point, mustn't it?
Well, I mean, maybe the people don't like to see the same team or the same driver.
We could clearly see pain on his face here. At last, this booing destroyed his personality and brave facade to such an extent that Vettel, who never shows any weakness on the grid, wept on the radio in 2015. In this way, a strong and proud personality was broken by Formula One. Adrian Sutil's glass attack. Adrian Sutil was a decent driver in 2011, constantly outperforming his opponents. His F1 career was promising, but one night destroyed everything. It was April 17, 2011 in Shanghai, China, where Adrian was celebrating the victory of his friend Lewis Hamilton. He was in full party mood at the M1NT nightclub. At the same party was Eric Lux, CEO of Genii Capital, the investment firm that owned the Lotus Renault F1 team. During the night, an altercation broke out between Sutil and Lux. In the rage, Sutil jabbed a champagne glass into Lux's neck, causing a deep laceration that required 24 stitches. He apologized for this, but it was too late. Lux pressed criminal charges in Germany for grievous bodily harm. The case went to court in Munich in January 2012, nearly a year after the incident. During a 2-day trial, Sutil was found guilty. His punishment was an 18-month suspended sentence and €200,000 fine to be paid to charity. Though Sutil managed to avoid jail, he was unable to save his F1 career. Slowly, everyone started distancing themselves from him, leaving him without a seat by 2015. That incident also caused a rift between Lewis and Sutil, ending their long-time friendship. Bertrand Gachot's arrest and imprisonment. It was 1991 when the Belgian Grand Prix was at its peak. The season was in the middle when an incident stirred chaos in the Formula One. Bertrand Gachot, who was the player of the New Jordan team and had a strong season, was jailed. In December 1990, he got into an argument with a London taxi driver. In anger, he sprayed the driver with CS gas, which was an illegal weapon in the UK. The driver reported it, and Gachot was arrested and charged. In August 1991, he was sentenced to 18 months in prison in the UK, but he served only for 2 months.
He needed a very short notice to get a replacement for Bertrand, who was obviously unavailable.
This incident marked the end of his F1 career, and his seat was taken by rookie Michael Schumacher. who became a legendary figure of Formula One. So these are 13 dark tales of Formula One. Which one disturbs you the most? Kindly do tell me in the comments section, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.